Thousands of fans walking through the gates for the first time and falling in love with a team. Trophies lifted by some, wooden spoons held by others. Exciting new beginnings and painful goodbyes. Players returning home to become local heroes and others departing for new adventures. One went all the way to Qatar. From the beginning, a natural rivalry. Forge and Cavalry. Hamilton versus Calgary. Bobby, Tommy, Kyle, Marco, the foot soldiers and the battalion, they've seen it all. These two clubs met in the Canadian Premier League's first ever final, and we've been waiting for the rematch on the last day of the season ever since. Today, they clash with legacies on the line once again. For Forge, the chance to confirm dynasty status with a 4th championship in 5 seasons. For Cavalry, one more win to claim an unprecedented regular season and playoff double. For the 5th time, this is the Canadian Premier League final on One Soccer. Well, it's been a party in Hamilton, Ontario since Thursday, beginning with the 5th annual CPL Awards event. Tonight, the main guest has arrived, the North Star Cup. It's the new trophy the league champion will get to lift, but who will that be? Forge FC going for a 4th title. They host Cavalry FC, the regular season champions. The fans are ready, the mascots are ready, and we're ready. Are you? It's Match Day Live on One Soccer. Hello everyone and welcome inside Tim Hortons field. Andy Petrillo alongside Jordan Wilson, Gareth Wheeler. It has been a very busy but fun 3 days. As I mentioned, it all started with the CPL Awards. Cavalry, they walked away with 5 of the 7 trophies. And then it's becoming a tradition that the host supporters group, they host a night of mixing and mingling. That's on match day -1 after all the interviews and work is done. Don't worry, we get our work done. And then we get ready for today. It all leads to today, the final, the CPL Fan Fest, as well as you just saw some images there. It's been rocking. How you guys feeling? Jordan, how you feeling?
I've been waiting for this day. I have.
Yes.
We had a little scrimmage out here, Wheels. You hit a nice little volley. Check the Instagram on One Soccer. But look, this is what you wait for. And now on the other side, retired. This is still so exciting. Finals day, you wake up in the morning, you got little jitters. I'm just excited to see 2 heavyweights go at it today, Wheels.
It's a special day. Started off with the Canadian women playing. Yep. It's like a legitimate Super Saturday here on One Soccer, showing off all that's good in Canadian football. Solo crowd in Montreal. We're going to have a big crowd here. Year number 5 of Canadian Premier League season, bringing to an end the best Canadian Premier League season yet. I think the standard has gone up, attendance has gone up, there's been drama, there's been great goals, incredible storylines, and what we end up here today is a rivalry of all rivalries in this league, dating back to really day number 1. One of these teams is going to go on to lift the trophy against their rival. Will it be Forge, their 4th in 5 years, or will it be Cavalry in the playoffs for the first time, coming off an exceptional regular season where they were crowned champions? So a ton of drama to be played out here and plenty of storylines to dig into.
And we're going to dive into a lot of those storylines, but if you were to maybe just start off with 1 or 2 or whatever, a few, what intrigues you the most about this matchup?
I think it's the 2 teams. I mentioned the heavyweights, but the heavyweights because Forge have made it to 5 of the last 5 finals. Incredible. They're a dynasty already, but they haven't had a great year. They've been in 2nd gear, they've been in 3rd gear. Bobby Smirnionis has talked about that as well. But this is a final, where all that matters is this one match. And then Cavalry has the best season to date. 13 points they're ahead of any other team in the Canadian Premier League going into this match. So it's a toss-up of who the favorite is. Both of these teams are dynasties, but today is a deciding factor, and whoever wins will be king of the hill.
Well, that's the thing. It seems like Forge is really like the New England Patriots, the Chicago Bulls, the Detroit Red Wings, all these great franchises that have these dynasties, these strangleholds over everyone else. The thing is, Cavalry in the regular season is right there in terms of overall points accumulated. It's Forge season, though. It's this time of year where you play knockout football, where Forge is being better than everyone else. So Cavalry is coming in here today, 13 points better in the table, but they're being considered the underdog going up against Forge. It's because of the history, the legacy. They want to spin around that narrative. They want to rewrite the next chapter. We'll see if they can step up and do it.
Well, let's welcome the other member of our panel. That would be Christian Jack, and I'm sure he has a lot of thoughts as well on the season that has been and this final that we're getting ready for. We'll dissect it as the hour goes on, but first, KJ, how are you feeling about tonight?
Yeah, it's a special day, no doubt about it. Obviously a fantastic doubleheader for Canadian soccer, and it just shows you how far we've come. The gates have been open here for about 10 or 15 minutes. People are piling in already. There's a genuine feeling of real atmosphere down here of pageantry. We've got the commissioner's reception just happening in front of me. Players are already starting to come out and warm up. It does not feel like a normal game, let me just tell you that much. And you know, this league started back in 2019 with the hashtag Forever First, and here we are 5 seasons later, still talking about Forever First. And on Forge side, can it be Forge, F-O-U-R, get the 4th title, but Forever First, the first team to ever win in their own stadium within their own city? And on the other side, from Calgary, Alberta, can Cavalry become the Forever First team to ever lift the double? And every credit to the Canadian Premier League to bring in the double, to make sure the regular season is one of great significance and to award a trophy. But now they get another shot at that, and that is a unique, special part of this, is that Cavalry are going for a double. It is not just another trophy. They've already won one as well. So it sets up to be fantastic tonight, a history-making night either way, in front of a fantastic crowd as well. It's a real special occasion for Canadian soccer and the Canadian Premier League as they have the climax on their 5th and final season.
Great stuff, KJ. We'll check in with you a little later on. Yeah, there are some incredible stories with these two teams because even though Forge has won it 3 times, they've never won at home. And even though Cavalry, they've been these perennial contenders in the regular season and they've done some incredible things in Canadian Championship, they always find a way to make the playoffs. Yet it was this year that they won their first ever playoff game. Now they're back in the final here, you know, for the first time since 2019. Let's quickly look at some of the starting 11s here. We'll dive into it more later on in the show as well. But when you look at Forge, I think the thing that's going to stand out is who's not in. That's Wheeldon Jr, who was tied for most goals scored on the team with Terran Campbell, 10 goals in 28 games. He ended up getting injured, so he's not going to be playing. Bobby Smirniotis confirming that he's out. That leaves a huge hole, Jordan.
Absolutely it does, and let's not dance around the subject. Wheeldon Jr is the guy that is probably the best number 9, most informed striker. You're looking at Terran Campbell today, who's going to start, and a lot is asked of him. You heard from Kyle Becker, we heard from him yesterday in the press conference, that if Terran Campbell, if Benny Badabanga can have a great game, he feels like Forge will be victors. But that is a question mark with this Forge side. Is yes, they have great defenders that love to play the ball at the back. Yes, they have midfielders that are great on the ball, but they need a striker to do well, Wheels.
For the Cavalry here in this one, I have a lot to say about Tommy Wheeldon Jr. and his pre-match press conference. We'll get to that in a moment. It's the exact same 11 that beat Pacific last week 2-1 to punch their ticket to this championship final. Really had one decision to make for me, whether it was to play Shamit Shom or Fraser Aird. He's elected to go with the experienced player in Aird, a little bit more attack-minded coming down the right-hand side. He came into 15 games this season, so he hasn't been a regular starter for Cavalry. Little bit of a roll of the dice. Perhaps he thinks that the way that he plays, a little bit more direct, suits this game more than the player like Shom, who's been exceptionally versatile over the course of the season.
Well, Forge may not have Wheeldon Jr, but Meyer Bevan, Cavalry, they do have him, and he was the Golden Boot winner. He shared that this year with Atletico Ottawa's Ollie Bassett. He put up 11 goals this season, and you see him in the starting 11 there. There's Marco Carducci, captain and goalkeeper for Cavalry. The fans are starting to pile on in. They're taking their photos. They're getting ready to cheer on their team. Patrice Geyser, head coach of Halifax, joining us next.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I cried away.
Degree, 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree, keeps working when others stop.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
How are we feeling out there? I was staring at a waterfall cause I was on fire. Yeah. Couldn't tell if I was dreaming or if I was alive. I was having my fun, but the world made me tired. It's getting so complicated. In the jungle when you're trying to fake it. And then I met you.
Four-time Juno nominee Tyler Shaw out of Vancouver, BC. He's headlining the Fan Fest here today, getting set for Forge Cavalry on the Volkswagen Electric stage. As we welcome you back to the show, it's Match Day Live. Andy Jordan and Wheels with you. Joining us now is the head coach of Halifax Wanderers, Patrice Geyser.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. It's great having you here. And you know what? It was great watching your season. And it's very interesting, the ebbs and flows of a year. You just have to wait to the end, and maybe that's how you can properly dissect it. But, you know, we as media, we always have to dissect game after game. And I'm sure you're probably sitting there going, are you guys talking about our 5 straight draws to start a season? 3 of them where we had the lead, and we know we did, and we gave it up. But come on now. Strong turnaround for you. You end up having the most points in club history at 42. You make the playoffs as well. When you look back on the season, how does it feel?
I mean, it's a twofold. If anyone told me before the season that we were going to finish how we did, I would have said, wow, remarkable. But, you know, when you're in a race and you feel so close to the front, you can't help feeling that, can we get across the finish line? Can we get more? So you feel with a lot of courage from the group, but, you know, it would have been great to continue to play. But that's what we had in the books for us this year, and can't wait for next year. So. All
right, well, let me ask you something. Were these guys fair to you during the season and their analysis?
One of them was really fair. The other one was not fair.
Spill it.
Name drop.
A couple rookies here.
That's name drop, Patrice. Come on.
This is your chance to analyze their performance. So this is your stage, Patrice.
Oh, perfect. I actually wrote the notes. I've been waiting for this. So I was like, hey, this is my chance. Let me write down everything. No. They were very fair. And honestly, I enjoyed the season. It was a roller coaster, like you said, all the ties, the highs and the lows. So it was great to be, and you guys are a big part of it. So thank you for all your support and coverage of the games, because it's amazing.
First year, though, as well for you coaching in the CPL.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you say were some of the challenges, and how would you describe the way you grew as a coach?
Yeah, you know, it's coming from a different league, call it the semi-pro league, that really helped the foundation of a lot of these players. You know, there wasn't as many losses as I had this year because the league is so competitive and every game was so difficult. It was really, really hard to digest some of the losses. I would go home and just really, really difficult, and just needed to learn, you know, to never too high, never too low, live it, put it behind you and just move forward. So, and take the lessons, you know, understand that it was a working project. We brought in 18 new players, see the bright side of the things. It's so easy for all of us to look at something negative. And a game sometimes is judged by 1 minute out of the 90 minutes. So don't lose focus of those 89 minutes, you know, and those are some of the biggest lessons that I took away. Just to take it easy on the expectation of the group. Don't skip lessons, and understand that where there may be a dark day, there's a bright day tomorrow.
Yeah, we were excited to see how you would do in Wheels as well, because you had a lot of players also come up from League One, right,
Yeah.
Gareth? Like, I mean, what were you even expecting, Wheels, and did they surpass that, right?
I don't think anyone in the league knew what to expect, to be honest with you. Brand new coach of the league, how they would adapt. But I mean, the way that market has supported you and the way that you brought this new identity to the club, it seems simpatico. It just came together so seamlessly. It's like a match made in heaven. And Patrice has brought out the best of some of the players that remain, but the new players, Farron, Nimick, I mean, it just has really brought deserved life out to Halifax, and you deserve a lot of credit here. Like you said, you know, one goal, less than that, one away goal scored, and you could have potentially been in this game. These are how slight the margins are.
Yeah, for sure. I was hoping you don't bring that up because now my mood drops. But no, I mean, absolutely. And I'll tell you, for me, the biggest takeaway was, if you remember our first game against Vancouver at home, I could feel almost a bit of a tension where it's like, oh my God, here we go. And of course, we're up 1-0. They scored in the 47th minute right before the whistle. And you could feel the lack of the trust from the players to the fans and vice versa. That's the truth. To the last game against Pacific, they didn't sit. They were with us after the game. Everybody stayed for like 50 minutes. And you know, the thing that I talked about was always together. The trust that was built between the players and the fans and the group was amazing. And I think if there's one word that I take away, it's hope. And hope is a scary thing when you have it. So
I know it's awkward when he's sitting here just to kind of heap the praise on him, but in this league, and Jordan knows this as well, having that understanding of what it means to be part of the Canadian soccer community, it's so important to relate to the players, to relate to the fans in order to take this process forward. And, you know, you've gone the long way and now made it to this point, and I think that it's well deserved, and you're seeing the work that you put in kind of translate now here in the top division of Canadian football.
But you are a manager, and we got to use that gaffer brain of yours just a little bit here. Give us a bit of a scouting report on Forge and Cavalry, if you were to say the strengths of each of these teams and why they're so tough to play against.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a lot of success against Forge this season. I think given my history with Bobby and knowing how they were going to play, and we got some bounces our way. I think Forge has a lot of different weapons, which makes them extremely unpredictable. Kyle can pick up the ball from deep areas and punish you. Alessandro's been great, helping winning the second balls. I think Mandreka and Johnson's range in order to carry the ball. So I think they have a lot of different weapons and different sources to get goals. I think the key, obviously, with Rubin's not expected to play, Taran will have to carry the load, but you expect Poku to continue what he's been doing, Rama. So Forge is going to keep the ball a lot. They're going to look to be patient and bring in Calgary and have more of a tempo where it's like keep it, adjust and go at them. I think
that's Cavalry we're looking at now.
Yeah.
What about them?
I think Calgary's going to have a goal right away. They're, you know, they led the league in PPDA, which is pressing. Their intensity is quite high. I think they're going to go chasing. I think they won't let Forge pick up any momentum. They're going to disrupt, and they have a lot of weapons as well. I mean, Musi's back, you know, from the little sort of spell that he had in the midseason, peaking. Camargo is having his best season in quite some time. So I think Calgary, they are deadly on set pieces. Look at the last game. Look at when they came to Halifax. So I think Forge needs to be super cautious on set pieces, limit anything in their half, and be really smart about those moments.
Yeah, we were just looking at Ali Musi. He walked away with Players Player of the Year award. Meyer Bevan jointly shared the Golden Boot there with Ollie Bassett. Before we go and let you go, though, you were at the awards night. You were nominated as well for Coach of the Year. Just how was it to be a part of an event like that? Amazing.
I mean, the words can't explain it. For me, you know, the one thing that I feel so proud is to be in a room of great people, and that starts from you guys to the coaches to the players. I mean, that's the future. That's the CPL. So many great people being in the same place. It's an honor for me to be a part of it, and the recognition that's on me should really be on the team, because without players, you can't really do anything, no matter who you are.
Well, it was a well-deserved nomination, and we had ourselves a great night. This, by the way, was the best segment ever by Jordan. This is like, we need to nominate this one for an award. we're not letting him in at all, because we have Patrice Geyser here, head coach of Halifax Wanderers, taking in the final. It was a great year. Wish you much success for next season. Enjoyed the final here while you can. Maybe.
Oh, it's happening.
Scouting.
Say it from now, Patrice.
You know what?
It's happening.
I think that the least I can do for the three of you is get you guys down to Halifax. And if
Yes.
it means hosting a final, then that's what it is.
Patrice, you
Please
did
do
say
it.
it's a 2-year project.
I did.
The first year was strong. That was
Strong.
a unit you've built.
For sure.
Build an army next season.
Let's go.
Fly us out to Halifax, and let's let the final be there.
I got to talk to you at halftime, see if you want to jump in for the playoffs next year. A guy with your experience and grit.
Patrice.
He
Andy.
almost
Patrice, I'm
Andy.
limber. Don't
We need to
listen
show
to
him the
Andy.
video. We need to
Hey,
show him the video.
Look
You
at
might-
One Soccer's YouTube.
Who
need a
called you
goal?
over 35?
Look, it was
Gary.
Christian
I'm not gonna
Jack.
say-
No,
yeah.
it's Christian Jack. It was unbelievable. I am limber and ready. If you need me for playoffs, I'm there.
All right.
They were playing ball earlier, and I think he split his pants, but we won't go there.
Ain't true.
Let's relive some of the moments from the CPL Awards.
Volkswagen, the official automotive partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I fade away.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Hey, let's go somewhere beachy. I don't like sand. What? What about Cancun sand? It's so soft. Or maybe Caribbean white sand. Sure. Ooh, Costa Rican sand. It's got dolphins.
Costa Rica, then?
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Good choice.
It was all him.
With over 50 sunny destinations to choose from, we have a flight for that.
WestJet is a proud sponsor of the Canadian Premier League.
We got to break that cycle of no team lifting the trophy at home.
I think that the past is good and to have those good memories we have playing against them, but the past is the past, and tomorrow's a brand new game. It could go either way, so end of the day, once the whistle blows tomorrow, the past really is out the window.
I think this has been a season with a lot of ups and downs. So for us to show the perseverance to get back into this moment, I think it's fantastic and something we as a club should be very happy about. But yeah, it's a little surreal to think that we're going into 5 for 5.
Kind of just spoil the party Cavalry again.
You know, we talked about it from the first year in creating a culture of this club that we must compete for championships. You always have to find the challenge and motivation. That's an important thing in these games, and that's one of the things we put in front of our players. We know Tim Hortons Field will be absolutely buzzing for this match, and we don't know where the final numbers are, but they're excellent at 6,000 and 7,000, so we know anything more than that will make this place special. And obviously, you know, for the players and for the fans, I think there's no better way to finish off a season. So we know that. We have to go out there and now get it done.
Yeah, like done it before, but like that feeling never gets old. It never, like, it's always as exciting as the first time.
We were able to lift the first one ever, and definitely want to be the first team to lift this one as well.
It's Matchday Live. It's the CPL final. It's Forge hosting Cavalry. Andy, Jordan, Wheels with you. And in the first year of the league's existence, it was these two teams who met in the final. Cavalry had dominated the regular season, but it was Forge who walked away with the trophy. Will history repeat itself? Because Cavalry, as we know, are the regular season champions, but Forge, they're the ones that are now in their 5th final. And this is so crazy that, yeah, we've said it before. Out of their trophies, they've never lifted one at home. They've always won on the road. That first year, 2019, that was in Calgary. So this is the rematch of rematches. But I'm wondering, though, Wheels, given the season that Cavalry had, do you actually consider Forge the favorites given what they've done in the playoffs?
The bookmakers do. You know, I'm not sure how much that actually matters, but if we're going to be honest, and Bobby Smirniotis spoke about it at his press conference yesterday, that his team has been in 2nd or 3rd gear for the vast majority of this season. Now, I think they stepped out of it 2 weeks ago, winning in Calgary to a 2-1 final that has maybe put them in that position where, yeah, they're playing at home, yeah, they're favorites here, but they're a little bit of a different team than we've seen in recent vintage. They've conceded more goals in a Canadian Premier League season, more than ever before. They lack a little bit of that width, which has been a trademark part of their game, allowing them to play more free-flowing football. It's been a struggle at times. It hasn't come easy. When you look up and a team that you're playing today is 13 points better than you over the course of the regular season, that to me delivers a message. Can they step up? Yes. Have they done it before? Yes. Are they capable of being so much more? Yes. But will they today? We simply don't know.
Forge aren't favorites, and I'll tell you exactly why. A little spin off my boy Wheels. They are not favorites because since 2019, there's one team in the Canadian Premier League that no team would want to face, and that is Forge FC. This season, they show that they're human, right? We have seen their kryptonite. We have seen deficiencies within the squad, and Calgary have shown that they are 13 points better than any other team. They are the team that have the pressure on them. They are the team that are the favorites going into this match, which is crazy to say going off of Forge's pedigree. But look, Forge in 2nd gear, 3rd gear, whatever it is, this is usually a time where the cream rises to the top. But Cavalry for sure are the favorites going into this match.
Regular season champions, why not? That's for sure. But again, you know, given the way Forge has always shown up in the playoffs, and they've already taken care of business against Cavalry in these playoffs, who knows? That's why we watch to the very end. Here's Christian Jack with Bobby Smirniotis.
Bobby, it doesn't feel like a normal game down here right now. There's a lot of people hanging around. It's very different, but it's not different for you. You've done this 4 years in a row. What have you learned in the last 4 years that can help you and your group tonight?
The biggest thing is the moments. You know, the moments of these games, you know, make the biggest difference in the end. And it's 2 things. It's effort and concentration. The tactical stuff, the guys are prepared. They all know that. Now it's about making sure you control what you can, and you control your concentration and your effort.
I want to ask you about your 11 in a second, but all the talk about the team behind me, Cavalry, is set pieces, set plays. It's been really their route to success a lot of this season. What are some of the messaging to your team tonight when they get those set pieces that they need to remember?
That goes back to what I just talked about, you know, concentration. That's one of the biggest things on set pieces, and we need to do the same in return. You know, we saw that was very valuable to us 2 weeks ago at Spruce Meadows, and we can get one here again today. That always helps.
Rubens Passius unfortunately misses out through injury, so probably not a surprise to pick the same 11. Jensen's still there, Baddy Banga probably a little bit further forward. What do you like about this 11 with what you saw last time when they played in Calgary?
Yeah, we've had an ability to move things around this year and use players in different positions. Benny gives us a great opportunity to move a player around within that front 3. Noah Jensen's had an excellent outing, and of course, you miss a guy like Woobens and his 10 goals, but we have a lot of faith in our depth, and we got a lot of good players coming in off the bench.
Jensen, of course, excellent for you last year in the final as well. Bobby, I know you will, but enjoy this, okay?
Thank you. Thanks, big man.
You know, we were talking about the CPL awards, Bobby Smirniota's 5th straight final. We kind of joked, but it's kind of not a joke. He has never won Coach of the Year.
He said he has other hardware on his mantle, so he's not too concerned with it, Andy.
Exactly. More coming up here on Match Day Live. Stay with us.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I hide away.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
It's the Canadian Premier League final. We are crowning a champion tonight for the 2023 season. We are inside Tim Hortons Field. Some Cavs fans have definitely made the journey here, although we are seeing a lot of orange. These two teams meeting in the final for the first time since 2019. They have already met in these playoffs. Remember, there was a semifinal playoff game to go straight to the final. Forge won that one. They've been waiting for their opponent. It's Cavalry, couple weeks. So here we go as we take a look at Forge's starting 11. No Woobens Casillas, as we know he's dealing with an injury that happened right near the end of the regular season, but Terran Campbell, he does have 10 goals on the season. Let's begin though, Jordan. You wanted to talk a little Noah Jensen in the middle.
Yeah, Andy, I think we have to, because he's playing the number 10 role tonight, an important role for Forge FC. That number 22, Noah Jensen, good young player. I know you like him, Wheels. 10 starts this season, but we can just go back a year ago in that finals against Atletico Ottawa, where Kyle Becker was suspended and couldn't play, and Noah Jensen was running the park. This young man has earned Bobby's trust to play in this big game. Forge play a certain style. They play the ball from the back through the middle, and they have runners off the ball. And this young man right here, when he played Cavalry FC 2 weeks ago, was phenomenal and has earned that spot. If he can have a great night tonight, it looks like Forge could be the victors.
Well, that was the big decision for me, whether Bobby goes back with Noah Jensen or plays a player that is the epitome of clutch for Forge, and David Chouanier, because he stepped up in big moments. Chouanier hasn't been available for the majority of the season. He's been out through injury, ended up coming on 2 weeks ago as a substitute. And this player right here, Jensen's kept him out of the starting 11. So, I mean, there's trust in Jensen. He'd play a whole lot more if he played for another team in the CPL. If he wasn't buried behind Kyle Becker, but now they get to play in tandem here tonight.
I have tremendous respect for you, but you know that David Chouanier, he is subbing in tonight. He is that late gem that you need, that 12th man to come in and do some work. But Noah Jensen has the legs, he has the pedigree, he's a young player coming up. I think he's going to have a crucial role tonight.
You saw the man just a moment ago, Kyle Becker, the captain, Mr. Everything for Forge, created more big chances than anyone else in the Canadian Premier League this season. Guess what Kyle Becker didn't do? He didn't play in the championship final last year because he was out through suspension. He said he watched up above having a couple of beverages that made him a lot. So this is like a year in the making. He's been chomping at the bit. He is ready to go here tonight. Scored a great goal that made sure that this game was being played in Hamilton here tonight 2 weeks ago. He certainly is a player to watch for me in this Forge side.
You talk about second or third gear that Forge have been in. This man has been in fifth, going 120 down the 401, 130 if you drive like me. He has been on fire. If he's the one that sets the tempo, he's the one that can make deep passes, has always played a bit of a level higher than everyone else, and he is so crucial to this Forge side.
I tried to get his real feelings out of him on match day -1 when I just said, we keep talking about this rivalry. How do you feel about Cavalry? I just flat out asked him, do you hate them? And he smiled and said, well, what do you want me to say? He goes, I won't say that, but I'll just say that things get a little interesting between these two teams.
He saves it for the referees. That's what it is. And let's be honest here, like Cavalry, when they lost 2-1 2 weeks ago, they didn't play poorly. There's going to be pressure in their back line. Medjugorje James has been great this season. He was a candidate for Defender of the Year as well. There's going to be some issues to deal with over the course of 90 minutes. Bevan, joint Golden Boot winner. Musi, Sergio Camargo's at his best season on tap. Medjugorje James, I call him the man tracker because defensively he is sound, but this player is adventurous as well. He'll move out from the back. He's given them a completely different dimension at the back over the course of this season. He has a huge role to play in this one here tonight.
Yeah, no, Medjugorje James, he was nominated for Defender of the Year, and you can see why, right? How he plays out of the back. But also, we got to talk about Hajabrapor in the midfield as well, right? You could have played Sissoko if you're Bobby Simeonis, but you go with Hajabrapor. Can he score in 3 straight finals?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He comes clutch in big moments. Got a header for Pacific in 2021. Got a header last season in the finals against Atletico Ottawa. Can he do one tonight? Can he have a screamer, Wheels?
Because he was the party pooper in 2021, scored that goal for Pacific. So he hopes to reverse that and give the home crowd something to cheer for tonight as well.
Taryn Campbell and Hajabrapor are part of that Pacific team. They're looking to become the first CPL players to win 3 straight titles. Let's take a look at Cavalry starting 11 here. This is a dangerous 11, as we mentioned, with Bevan 11 goals on the season as well. Musi winning the Players Player of the Year. Akio Camargo, Carducci was once again nominated for Goalkeeper of the Year. Dan Klomp walked away with 2 awards on the night. Even though they lost to Forge, they had to play Pacific. They beat them to now be here in the final. Let's go pitch side. Christian Jack has Tommy Wheeldon Jr. with him.
Yeah, I'm here with Tommy Wheeldon Jr. Tommy, it's a big one. It's a final. You've done a lot of things in CPL in Calgary, but you've never had a final, a one-off final. Does it feel different? Is the message to your team to make it different or just make it the same?
Yeah, I think we just got to approach it with no regrets afterwards. I think we've had a terrific regular season. We've shown up in some big games. Now this is the biggest one of all, so we just got to show up and keep the habits that have got us to the place we are and enjoy the occasion. Sometimes you blink and you've missed it, so I want the lads to enjoy the occasion today.
Your team looks really relaxed, I have to say. What about the 11? You picked the same. Probably not real many surprises. It could have been Shom over Ed. What was you thinking there when you put the 11 together for Forge?
I think we've got to give them something to think of as well, right? If we come here, you can set up and play not to lose, or you can set up and play to win. And we chose the latter because we thought if we're going to go for this, we're going to go for it and not wait to win a football match. So he adds quality in his wide areas. He also adds quality on set plays, and sometimes they're the difference makers.
Tommy, the bookmakers say that you're big underdogs, but you won the league by 13 points. Have you allowed yourself to think that you've got an opportunity here to win what would be a remarkable Canadian Premier League double?
Well, don't tell Gareth Wheeler that because he doesn't like stats and facts. I think they're good to have. I think sometimes it does do us good because it keeps us hungry. And the hungrier a dog, the faster it runs. And I think we're going to run fast today. So we like the role of an underdog, and hopefully that serves in our favor.
Enjoy it, okay?
Thank you. Cheers.
Gareth?
I didn't know this till now, but apparently I own property in Calgary because I'm living rent-free in Tommy Wheeldon Jr.'s head.
You're Jose Escalante, baby.
By the way, a different tone there from Tommy, leaving no regrets in this game. Yesterday, Tommy Wheeldon Jr. wheels up. The head coach of the season in the Canadian Premier League called this game a bonus. winning a championship final would just be a bonus. He called it a tall task in order to go on and beat Forge tonight. I think what he was actually trying to do, mind games, Andy.
I think so.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Because, you know, his team might look calm. They're nervous, this Cavalry side. And I think that that's his way of calming the nerves ahead of this one. There's no way that he thinks playing Forge, a team that they strongly dislike one another, here and a chance to ruin the party in Hamilton, it's not a bonus. This is a big deal. A double's a big deal. You got to finish strong. So some mind games being played. Hey, he can use me all he wants as bulletin board material. He knows that I have absolutely zero effect on what the game's going to be played here today.
He keeps receipts.
Keeps receipts.
He's actually pretty great when you go and jest back and forth with him. But here's the thing. The reason why they also, you know, are feeling, I guess, pretty good about their season, as we know, is the winner of the regular season does get qualification into CONCACAF Champions Cup. And because Cavalry made it to the final, Forge finished second. So that alone puts Forge into the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So these two teams, they are feeling pretty good about themselves in that sense, but you want that North Star Cup. And you're not telling Dan Klomp, who walked away with the regular season title, 2 awards on Thursday night, that he's not going to go home with the North Star Cup.
This is the time. This is the time for Cavalry. Look, since 2019, it's been Forge. Forge play the best brand of football. Forge have the best players. Forge win when it matters. This is Tommy Wheeldon Jr. and Cavalry's time to flip the script. Don't come and tell me anything that is so erroneous, saying that this is a bonus match. This is him just having everyone go down a rabbit hole. This is the time to switch it. To win the double, he can go to Bobby, flick his shoulder, Harlem shaking his face, and say, I've got the better of you twice.
Yeah.
Not just once, twice. This is huge for his side. And if you want Cavalry side to step up, this man right here, the Canadian Premier League John Stones, Dan Klomp, needs to have a terrific match, both defensively, but also with the set pieces, popping into the midfield and controlling the tempo wheels. He's been the best player for Cavalry, and he needs to step up big tonight.
Yeah, third year in the Canadian Premier League, he's improved each and every one. His ability to step through into the midfield, get involved in attack. You're right, between him and Ali Musi, they have this great connection on set pieces as well, deservedly winning the award. And this player right here, winning the Players Player of the Year award, Ali Musi, I mean, that's huge, being acknowledged by your peers. It was about consistency. His talent has never been in doubt, but he's found consistency over the course of this season. And his set-piece distribution has been on next level as well. And him alongside Kamar, like, there's so many attacking options, but he may be the most important one.
Wheels, preach, brother, preach. Look, playing against Ali Musi, he's a talent. But some games he would be 10 out of 10. Other games he would be 6. 2020 season, 2021, 2022, that's what it was. This 2023 season, he's found an 8.59 every match. Speaking to him at the award ceremony as well, and I said to him, but brother, this has been the best of you yet. And he said, I feel good. I've one more thing to do, which is take care of business Saturday night. And if you want to see Cavalry do well, he needs to be the guy to not be a 6 out of 10, not take the world on his shoulder, but just enjoy his football. Because when he does that, he gets everyone else inspired.
I want to talk Sergio Camargo really quickly, because Tommy Wheeldon Jr. pinpointed Camargo, not the player, the reason why they lost to Forge last time 2 weeks ago, but 10v10. Becker scored the goal, Camargo went off the crossbar. Thin lines between victory and defeat, and Camargo this season, this has been his best one in the Canadian Premier League. He's stayed healthy, he's been effective, he gives Cavalry a different gear because he's more of a technical player. So there's more than plan A when he's on the ball, there's plan B, plan C. This player can absolutely ball when he's at his best, and there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on him
I
here
couldn't
today.
agree with you more, Wheels. And when you look at a team, it's not about the 11. In the Canadian Premier League especially, you have your 23. Everyone has to contribute. You cannot have practice players. You need to have a Camargo feeling healthy. Then you can play an Akio sometimes. You need that full army. But Bevan has been the poacher. He's been the fox in the box. He's been the guy to be around and step up in big moments. He needs to get the better of Anthony Johnson tonight, Matusala, and Magikarp James with his movement and being tenacious. This is a big moment. This is Cavalry's chance. And the way that you beat teams is by scoring goals. And you need someone like Bevan to be so tenacious and so hungry around the box.
I will say, though, they need a little bit of an education on some music here, because when we were, I was introducing the Ali Musi Players Player of the Year, and I kind of dropped a little play on, play out, because that's what it felt like to me with the Players Player. Does anyone not know Blackstreet and Dr. Dre? No
Well,
Diggity?
sing
no.
it.
I'm not going to sing it.
I like the way you work it.
That's what I was trying to say.
I think you've been hanging out with me for far too long.
That's how
far too long.
That's how young they are. That's how not so young we are. Because the older people were chuckling at that joke.
Some of us.
Maybe I was just chuckling at my own joke. Doesn't matter. But as I mentioned, Cavalry walking away with 5 of those 7 trophies, and you guys just went through the gauntlet of why they've had an exceptional season and why a lot of people do see them as the favorites, except I guess for those odds makers. But that's because Forge, 5th straight final for them, and they have gotten the job done 3 times before.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.com.
CIBC is a proud partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Tony Bet is a proud partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Hey, let's go somewhere beachy. I don't like sand. What? What about Cancun sand? It's so soft. Or maybe Caribbean white sand. Sure. Ooh, Costa Rican sand. It's got dolphins.
Costa Rica then?
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Good choice.
It was all him.
With over 50 sunny destinations to choose from, we have a flight for that.
WestJet is a proud sponsor of the Canadian Premier League.
Comes down to the small details. I think it's both 2 great teams that are gonna face off against each other tomorrow.
The cool thing with this rivalry is there's so many firsts on the table where they have a chance to win it at home and be a first to win it at home. We have first at a double, so something's got to break tomorrow. You know, one of these things is gonna not be a first anymore, so it's an exciting time.
We want to be the first to win the double, because then I said to this now becomes a very special team, because I think in a salary cap league it's always hard to keep groups together, and for the manner in which we won the regular season to then cap it off with a playoff championship as well will be superb, because you know we always talk about forever firsts, and I think if we were to do that, that would put us down in history as the first team to do it, and I think that's a really good carrot to dangle in front of us.
I want to be able to do it at Tim Hortons Field in front of the Forge fans as they did it to us in year 1. It all makes sense.
It's a beautiful trophy, and to be able to now be the first one to lift it and the first to do the double would be an incredible achievement, obviously, but yeah, that taste it's what everyone plays for. You want to win. You want to be the one celebrating at the end of the year, and we've had a taste of that already. We've had our success. Again, we've booked our spot in CONCACAF. We won the league by 13 points. All those things are achievements that we're very proud of, but again, it's just another opportunity to lift another trophy, and that's exciting.
Inside Tim Hortons Field, not far away now from kickoff, the CPL final. Forge hosting Cavalry. KJ on set with us now. And we know that there's history between these two teams, and we love this rivalry because it's happened organically. I mean, Cavalry has taken care of business against Forge in the first year of the season in the Canadian Championship, but we keep talking about how Forge beat them in the final in 2019. Then, of course, you know, Forge has taken care of them as well at the Island Games, and Forge has gone on to win 3 titles, and even Forge beat them in the first semifinal game here. But Cavalry, they are the regular season winners. They are going to CONCACAF Champions Cup. They feel pretty confident. How are you feeling about their chances?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident for them as well. I would say this, is that like if this doesn't work out for them today, when? If not now, when? You know, you produce a season like this and you dominate the regular season. We've got a team here that everyone's talking about how fantastic they've been, but they've been past tense. They're not playing at that level right now. So I think I'm looking at Cavalry out there on the warm-ups, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's those moments in your career where you better take them. And I think this is an enormous moment. And if they don't get it done tonight, I think those players will live a very long with a long regret, because this is the moment for me for them.
The history casts a shadow, and a dark one for Cavalry playing against Forge. They've never beat Forge in a playoff match. And I think the way that they got knocked out last year, in their final game of last season in 2022, being here, losing to Forge, being knocked out, that left a mark. I know that speaking with Tommy Wheeldon Jr., I know that speaking to players, and they had to make critical changes this year not to relive that same fate. If you remember, Kyle Becker got sent off, they were a man up. Tommy Wheeldon Jr. started a much more defensive starting 11 that game. He thought that in the second half they could maybe take advantage and go on and find a goal. But unfortunately, there's the Becker sending off. And then shortly thereafter, in my opinion, right before halftime, David Norman Jr. was sent off. For me, he should have never been sent off. It wasn't the right call in that moment, but that's how football works. And Cavalry lost, and there were dark days and a lot of regret, by the way. And here's the David Norman Jr. incident before the halftime went out. I mean, he's sent off here in the end. Like, come on. That hurt them, Andy. They remember that. And this is their chance right here today for redemption.
Well, these are two teams that have like some of the most yellow and red cards against each other. Even in that final, or that semifinal from last year, Kyle Becker and Tommy Wheeldon Jr. exchanged words. When we tried to ask Tommy what was said, he joked about them making dinner plans. I do not think they're having dinner anytime soon. Tommy's even said we're not sending Christmas cards to them anytime soon. I mean, these are teams, that's what I mean by them having a history.
Yeah, this game is, that's why I said it's a ruse. What Tommy Wheeldon Jr. said yesterday about being a bonus. Because there's bad blood. There is bad blood, Wheels, KJ. This is a match that both teams, Bobby and Tommy, want to win. You want to be the big brother. And it's been forged since the beginning, since the inception. But today it could be different because I think Cavalry have an edge. They have a team that has depth. They have belief within the squad that you've alluded to, KJ. And this could be the time, but they got to go out and show it from the first whistle.
They have to show it. What do those highlights all have in common? Borges winning the penalty, Schwanya scoring the goal, big game players in the Canadian Premier League who have been there before and done it. And we can talk till we're blue in the face about how great these players are that are playing in black tonight for Cavalry, and how they stormed into the award show and disappeared like bandits, stealing all the awards this week. But until you go out there and deliver it, it's still time. We still have to figure out what are they going to become, right? So this is now Dan Klump, Ali Musi, Maya Bevan, all of these players, these star players. You talked about Camargo. We can go on and on and on throughout the team. Charlie Trafford, Jesse Daly, Marco Carducci. The time is now, and they've been waiting for a big moment like this. The regular season they said was more important. That is a quality year over 6 months, but when it comes to it, big moments, that's when your career can be defined.
How much pressure, though, do you think is on Forge to lift a trophy in front of the home fans? Yes, they're going to CONCACAF Champions Cup, KJ, but that's kind of by default, by the Cavs making the final, and maybe winning it is like, no, we earned it. Because Carducci had a little bit of a dig where he's like, hey, we're both going. They're going because of us, because we're in the final.
Yeah, look, there's a little dig there, but credit to CONCACAF, by the way, that gives out the 2 for the Canadian Premier League. That's an enormous benefit for the Canadian Premier League. You just used the word there, pressure. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on them. And I don't know whether that's a positive, Jordan, or a negative. But right now, there's an expectation amongst this fan group. There's an expectation amongst the people here that they're just going to come up and they're going to win this.
That's the word that everyone needs to focus on is the expectation, because that is what Bobby Smirnionis has infused and has placed on this team. It's that expectation to win in big games and to win trophies and to win titles. And he said it, Wheels, in the press conference yesterday. When he started in 2019, that was the expectation, to win trophies. No one's going to remember about Forge being in second or third gear if they go out and boss the pitch tonight. They're going to talk about how they won the last game of the season and how they always rise to the top when it matters.
Do it at home, though, something that's never been done before in this league. And don't get complacent, because runs like this don't happen very often in any sport worldwide where a team has been as dominant as Forge.
I'm putting the pressure on you guys right now because it's time for predictions. Anyone want to go first here?
I'll go first.
All right, Jordan.
So I'm supposed to say who I think is going to win today.
Show us.
Official predictions.
Show us who you think is going to win.
Well, we were at End Zone last night, which is Forge.
They're not booing you.
Yeah, I was
Don't
like,
you
what
worry
did I
about
say? Forge's FC's fan club, right? The supporters, they were there. The Bellows, 112. And they're behind me right now. As much as I appreciate Cavalry's football, as much as I can appreciate Tommy Wheeldon Jr.
Let's go.
This has to be Forge season, baby. I'm going to get on this bad boy. Put that to the side. Oh, yes. Come on, Bellows. Come on, Bellows. This is the time. This is Forge season, baby.
Forge season. I'm up. Well,
all right.
Tommy Wheeldon Jr. has pointed this out multiple times. I call this Forge season because come the end of the season, they always win. But guess what? Seasons change. It's Forge season no longer. Hey guys, Forge season.
No, no. Do not look at them when you do that.
How can I can't top that. I can't top that.
You look good in the hat, though, Wheels.
That poor fan group right behind us is very confused.
Look, his mic
We're cheering for you. We're not cheering for you.
Yeah.
Break the tie.
Okay. Cavalry's going to win the game. And they're going to win the game because, as I've said, they've lost too many, and I'm a great believer in that you build through losing and you learn a lot. And if they don't win this tonight, as I said, they're going to live with regret for a long time. They've been the best team, 13 points dominant team all season long. You've lost once to them already. You lose again. It's not a bonus. It's an incredible opportunity to reach CPL Canadian soccer greatness, to win the first ever double and make up for all of the pain that you've been through over the last 3 to 4 years. So I'm with Wheels.
Man.
Is that from like the Toy Story?
Vacation.
I don't know.
Where'd you go, KJ?
You are suave, my friend. Look at that.
What a handsome
Look
bugger.
at these guys.
We're done.
I don't know.
Just gonna wear
I'm
our hats.
neutral. Just give me like a fascinator or a fedora or something. There you go. They've made their predictions. How are you feeling at home? We have the 5th CPL final. It is Forge versus Cavalry here in Hamilton inside Tim Hortons Field. The action, the kickoff is next.
We created Carlsberg 0-0 because even the best things can be better. Where I go if we beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Ontario. It has become revered ground and a home of postseason dominance for half a decade. It is where the steel throne sits upon which House Hamilton has presided over these matches since 2019. History will be written either way tonight, with two oh-so-familiar foes doing battle once again. We will either see the hosts lift the trophy, and it's a gorgeous new trophy, the North Star Cup, for the very first time on their turf, or we will see Cavalry finally overcome their postseason demons and get one up against the Hammers. They are the dominant regular season winners. They lifted the CPL Shield just a few short weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago they were dethroned by Forge in the postseason again. And now, tonight, absolutely everything to play for in front of over 10,000 spectators on what has been an incredible day at Tim Hortons Field. This is the final. It will decide the North Star Cup. And Braden Neville is our public address announcer tonight in Hamilton.
Please give a warm welcome to American Idol finalist, Nicolina.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love.
You know what makes me laugh?
In all of us command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It was October 26th of 2019 when Forge and Cavalry stepped onto this turf in the opening leg of what had been then a two-legged final to decide the first club to hoist the North Star Shield. It was a match that was not without drama. It saw penalties, it saw red cards, it saw just about everything, and you could argue that was the day that the rivalry was truly born. Of course, Forge going on to win leg 2 as well. Dr. Marie-Soleil Baudouin is the head referee. It is her first CPL postseason appointment, and I'd say fresh off of a World Cup experience in Australia, New Zealand, she is no stranger to a big match. Peter Penley and Gerard Cater-Lebouy will run the lines for her today, with Scott Bowman, the fourth official, as Kyle Becker and Marco Carducci come together for the ceremonial coin toss.